referring to. What were your observations then as a cardiologist from your having viewed Mr. Floyd's restraint on the ground by Mr. Chauvin?
Sure. So my observations were that he was restrained in a life-threatening manner. Specifically, my observations was that he was on the ground in the prone position, handcuffed, hands behind the back, a knee on the back of his neck, a knee on the back of his upper torso or shoulder, hands pushing his handcuffed hands further up into his chest. I observed a knee compressing his, I thought it was his buttocks or upper thighs, and then at various points his lower limbs, his lower extremities being pinned down to the ground. So that my initial observation was, what is the position, first and foremost, that he is being subjected to?
And did you see at some point in you watching the video that Mr. Floyd went into cardiopulmonary arrest?
Eventually, yes, I did.
Do you know what Mr. Floyd's heart rhythm was when he was taken from the scene?
Well, so in the course of the restraint, I was looking to see if his deterioration occurred rapidly, like I was just talking about. For example, a primary cardiac event, the most common arrhythmia is what we call ventricular fibrillation, or VF for short, VFib. When that happens, the individual will look relatively okay, meaning they're alert, they're talking, and then they will immediately become unconscious. On the other hand, if the cause of the cardiopulmonary arrest was from something else, for example, low oxygen levels, you will typically see that deterioration happening much more gradually and slowly. So my observations were the second, that you could see, at least I could see, his speech starting to become less forceful, his muscle movements becoming weaker, until, of course, eventually his speech became absent, eventually his muscle movements were absent, and then, as we later discovered by the heart rhythm, he was in a PEA, cardiopulmonary arrest.